Greetings everybody, my name is Doragon, welcome back to Destiny 2, and this is our look at the latest season, Season 10, Season of the Worthy. This is a difficult one to comprehend, because I've not really taken part too much in the season. So to be able to review it, to be able to give thoughts on it, is kind of disingenuous on the one hand. But on the other hand, I'm not a content creator. I don't sit there like my name is Bife or like Tato and constantly play this game. This isn't my job, this is my hobby. It's what I do to relax, to unwind. And I've not really been doing that for the past 3 months. And it solely comes down to the content of the season for me. What we got was a strong story in and of itself, with the remnants of the Red Legion, with a last-ditch attempt, the last of the Scion Flayer sisters, aiming the Almighty at the last city, putting it on a crash course, disabling any onboard means of getting rid of it. And this is a great premise. But then, rather than having story missions like we've had in Season 8 and Season 9, we got public events. We got bounties. And we got lost sectors. Again, these are not bad bits of content. But all 3 of them are meant to be side missions. A bounty is meant to be something that you complete whilst doing another activity. That's what made them so good in Destiny 1. They gave you huge swathes of XP, but you could complete them on patrol, or you could complete them whilst doing strikes, raids. It didn't matter where you were, what you were doing. All that mattered was whether you picked up Vanguard or Crucible bounties, and whether it was weekly or daily. They weren't the main crux of the gameplay loop. And Destiny 2 very much seems to have forgotten that point. Bounties are so important to the Destiny loop at the moment that they overtake everything else. We have a season pass, a paid for £10 season pass. And the stuff that you get from it, the cosmetics, the upgrade materials, all that sort of stuff, it's actually great. And if you were buying it from microtransactions, you'd be paying way more than £10 for it. So to have access to that through a gameplay loop, an XP grind, I'm quite alright with, because you get the story content and everything around it as well. The price doesn't bother me. The delivery of the content does. And when the only efficient way to complete that season pass is to grind bounty after bounty, lost sector after lost sector, to repeat the same sector of content over and over and over and over and over, that's when I suddenly have a problem with the way the game is being delivered. Because it's not fun at that point. It's not rewarding at that point. Regardless of what the rewards actually are, the gameplay loop to get to that point has to be primarily fun. This is where I feel Destiny may have lost its way somewhat. We're currently in year 3 of Destiny 2. Now, if we are to compare that to year 3 of Destiny 1, we've got a vastly different situation. The autumn expansion, the September expansion comes out. That has been probably equivalent for me in terms of size, scope and content. What came in Shadowkeep and what came in Rise of Iron, they're probably very similar. Rise of Iron had 5 story missions and some busy work in the meantime. Shadowkeep had 4 story missions and some busy work in the meantime. So we were a story mission less. But you got your nightmare hunts with Shadowkeep. You got 3 strikes with Rise of Iron, even if 2 of those strikes were remasters of ones that we had back in year 1. The raids on both, I think, are excellent. I honestly believe that Wrath of the Machine and... oh god, it's that long since I've done it, I forgot the name of Shadowkeep's raid. But the one in the Black Garden with the Vex. I love it. I thoroughly enjoy that content. I love running it. I love the rewards from it. They are fun. But after that, the similarities sort of stop. Rise of Iron went dead quiet for a while. And as an average consumer, as someone who pays for this game, as someone who goes to work 8 hours a day to earn the money to be able to purchase this game, to be able to play this game, those going quiet moments, I miss them. When Rise of Iron released, I'd play it 2 or 3 times a week. I'd jump on a Tuesday. I'd run 1 or 2 raids through Wrath. I loved Sherpering at the time. I just looked on LFG and helped people through. And the rest of my week, I'd play whatever the hell I wanted to. I'd be on different games. I'd be doing different things. I'd be going out with friends. There was no requirement or need to check into Destiny, because I knew when I came back, or if I had that urge, everything was there waiting for me. And that was year 2 of Destiny 2. I moved house in the December at the launch of the Black Armory season, at the launch of that DLC. So I didn't get to play it because I didn't get internet in my home for another 2 months. And I was then playing things like Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I was then going back and playing some of my back catalogue. And when I came back to Destiny 2 at the start of Season of the Drifter, I did not have that same disappointment loop that people who had been within it all that time had, because I'd got this content from a season before and this season upcoming. It took me that season to get to the point where I was running everything. And then we had the Menagerie and the Season of Opulence to follow it. It reinvigorated my love for the game once more because content was there waiting for me. I took most of this season, most of Season 10, Season of the Worthy, off from Destiny. I check back in now and then. There were certain things that I wanted to do and obtain. I got the 4th Horseman, I got Fellwinter's Lie. I didn't get Heir Apparent though. I didn't really play the Guardian games. I didn't fully upgrade the bunkers. This is the first title in this year of Destiny that I haven't obtained. And I'm not disappointed about that. And that comes down to my problem with the way Destiny is at the moment. And I know this has been addressed. I know that This Week at Bungie has addressed this on a couple of occasions, and we've had Vidocs and stuff that say they're changing the way they do Destiny yet again. And I know that next year is going to be different. Content's going to be around a lot longer. You can take these breaks and come back, and it's still going to be there. But at the same time, that doesn't help me in Destiny now. That doesn't help my June 2020 playtime in Destiny. I currently don't have enjoyment within the game. I currently don't have an aim or a goal. And when that happens, the game dies for me for a little bit. I'm a sucker, and I know that come June the 9th, tomorrow when I'm recording this, that my hype train will be in full flow because we get news about Season 11 and the next expansion to the Destiny universe. What's going to happen come September, the big story beats. But I also know that right now, the day before this, I'm actually struggling to get hyped up for this reveal. When I started recording this video, I had an intent to do a sort of review of the last couple of seasons, because I missed doing Season 9. I didn't sort of review that season, because it was just there. I enjoyed what was there. I plodded through and sort of accidentally got the title. But then this season came around and I wanted to review my feelings as a consumer, not as a streamer content creator, not as someone whose entire job is video games. And it's turned into a bit of a rant, and that's the thing. That's Destiny right now. And this is the cycle that Destiny has always gone through. It's always gone through its highs and lows. The difference for me between the lows of, say, the Destiny 1 Year 2 content drought after Taken King, the fact that we had nothing else during that entire time. The difference there is you knew there was nothing else coming. There was no promises of additional story, of additional content. And so if you got to a point of being bored, you either created weird and ridiculous challenges for yourself. I mean, look at all the Kingsfall challenges that the likes of Dato did. Look at all the Nightfall challenges folks did of like snipers only or sidearms only and that sort of stuff. You could have a bit of fun, go off meta, do things a bit strange with your friends, and then play other stuff, because you weren't missing anything. But now, because you are, you feel like you've got to be in it. Because Bungie promised content releases throughout the season, that through the course of the year you would have this ever-evolving world, ever-evolving story within the game. You log on regularly to check the updates. And if you've been with Destiny as long as I have, I signed up to that alpha the moment I heard it announced on E3. I really enjoyed the gameplay loop, so got a code from a friend for the beta, and then played the game when it came out on launch day. I've been with Destiny now for 6 years, as of right now, because E3 should be happening right now. This time last year was E3. We were hearing more about the gaming universe. 6 years of Destiny evolution. And the way feels more lost now than it ever has. I know Bungie will come back from this. I know they're going to give us some content that we really love really shortly. We went from the doldrums of Year 1 D1 to the Taken King, and we never looked back. Rise of Iron just added to that and grew. We then had the Age of Triumph thereafter. And to me, that was the best point in Destiny history to date. Destiny 2 Year 1 for me, for the average man who has an 8-hour-a-day job 5 days a week. Like, vanilla D2 was actually good. I didn't exhaust the content until that first drop of DLC, until Curse of Osiris. I think I got through the raid like a week or two before Curse of Osiris launched. You can see the entirety of my playthrough of Curse of Osiris on this channel. I really enjoyed the story beats. I enjoyed the boss fight, it was different. But then I'd already exhausted that content by the time I got to the end of it. Warmind came around, and we killed a hive god in a story mission that became a strike. And the same feeling of Destiny 1 Year 1 came around, where there were big problems. We held out hope because, okay, they'd done a change of direction. There was probably Activision wanting that change of direction. And Forsaken fixed it all. We're now in year 3 of Destiny 2, a point where we should be having those heady heights of Age of Triumph, but the D2 equivalent. And 2 days ago, I sat in the tower for an hour and a half, watching pixels move across a skybox to blow up a spaceship that we last heard anything significant about 3 months ago. Destiny isn't particularly broken. There isn't a problem with the game. The content that's in there, the stuff that's stuck around permanently, is good. The story beats that we're getting through both the on-screen story and the lore in the background is good. There is no problem with the direction the story is going. We finally have the darkness right on the horizon. They are here. They have been spoken about since the very early days of this story. They have been teased explicitly since the start of Destiny 2, and they are finally here. We are finally about to face off against the biggest threat in the Destiny universe, the thing that almost destroyed the Traveler at the end of the Golden Age. The story's not the problem. The content, the strikes, the raids. Gambit, I love Gambit. I'm one of those guys who likes it. For a dip in, dip out, I've not had to grind it the same way that content creators have or the hardcore have. I enjoy dipping in and having that PvE-VP scenario. There's no problem with the content in the game, with the mechanics of the game, with the characters in the game. The problem right now is the delivery. Now, I'm not a video game creator. I'm not a critic or someone with vast swathes of knowledge completely qualified to talk on this thing. I am a guy who every year throws around the £40 mark Bungie's way for a year's worth of content. And when you consider what other things cost for a year's worth of content, the likes of Disney Plus, it's $5.99 a month at the moment, so over the course of 12 months that's nearly £70 for movies that I've watched again and again and again. So £40 for a year's worth of interactive gameplay. That seems pretty darn reasonable. But it's still got to be delivered in a manner that is engaging. It still has to be delivered in a manner that people talk about years down the line. That's where I think Bungie have currently lost their way in their delivery of the content. As a guy who's just consuming this, I want story. Story-based games are my favourite thing. I don't care whether it's open world, I don't care whether it's looter shooter, RPG, linear. It matters not to me as long as the story is strong. As long as the pacing is good and the gameplay beats match that story. Right now, we've got solid story content, we've got solid gameplay beats and loops. We've got an amazing first-person shooter, still one of the best on the market. But they're not backing one another up right now, in the eyes of this consumer anyhow. And it's this season that has really brought that to light for me. It is this season that has shown that I want more. On the story beats, I want it all to be there. Every 3 months, to get a story that holds a little bit back for the end of the season. Great. We could have had all that content released back in March that we've received through this season. Everybody could have completed it in that first month, regardless of your available playtime. And then people could have happily moved on and done something else and come back for the live event. A live event which, by the way, I was very okay with. I love the result of it, the special effects, the fact it was pulled off within Destiny when something like this has never been done before. It was excellent in that regard. But it was too long and it didn't start on time. And that could be improved for future. It's the first attempt at it, and there's always going to be an element of leeway for a first attempt in my eyes. But I think it would have been much better delivered overall if we'd got everything dropped at the beginning of the season. We can all rip through it at our own pace. Some people it would have taken the 3 months, some people would have taken 3 days. But then it gives us opportunities to go away and not feel like we're missing anything. Not feel fatigued at the manner in which everything's being delivered. Oh, we've got to pick more bounties. We've got to upgrade this further. We've got to do X, Y, and Z to achieve the same thing we did over the last 3 months. It took 3 months to open stuff up for us to allow us to do that. This is probably the most negative video I'm ever going to put up on my channel. Or at least as things stand right now, it's the most negative I can see a video ever being. And it takes a lot to talk for more than 20 minutes in a negative manner about something. Because most people switch off from listening to it. And most people can't last that long being negative about something. But that's Destiny in a nutshell. The game is so good. The development team are amazing. And it means you have a fan base like us who are so passionate about this game, that when we do become disappointed, we can be vocal about it for an extended period of time. Tomorrow we learn about the next stage in Destiny history. Tomorrow on the 9th of June we learn what the next steps are. And I know right now I'm going to be a sucker and I'm going to be excited for it. Because there's going to be more Destiny. What I hope as an avid fan of this franchise is that the gameplay loop, story beats, loop chase and rewards marry together as they did way back in year 3. That more live events such as that you're seeing on screen right now occur over that period. And get better and more timely as they progress. I hope that Destiny finds its stride again, like it did in year 3 of Destiny 1. It was so confident in itself, it could re-release old content and the fan base would be absolutely fine with that. I hope we get that again. I hope the development team know exactly what we as fans want. And that sometimes more than text on a screen after a giant ship plummets into old Russia is required. That a story mission after this point, maybe setting up the next season, even if it's just 3 or 4 minutes long, is enough to build hype and keep people engaged. I hope they read their fan base, and I hope that I am satiated. Because we've now got another 3 months of FOMO, because that is the content that's been built for year 3 of Destiny 2. And I hope that what comes after it is enough to make this year of having to play to not miss out, and overuse the game to become fatigued with it. I hope that come September, come year 4 of Destiny 2, all the required beats for the fans are met. Or even better, they do something that none of us want and none of us expect. It blows us away and quiets down all of the discontent that is stirring up in those people that love this game so much. If you're still here, thank you very much for tuning in. If you're still here, well done for hearing me rant for nearly 29 minutes. This isn't content people want to make. It's not content I want to make, that's for sure. But sometimes it's content that you need to make, even if it's just to get something off your own chest, if it's just for your own benefit and not anyone else's. I hope we get what we feel we deserve moving forward in Destiny 2. I have faith in Bungie, they've done it before. They'll appease me, I'll forget all about this, and maybe in 2 years' time we'll be right back here. Sometimes that's the development cycle of a game, that's the development cycle of consumer and supplier. But I want to thank you all very much for tuning in. If you like the video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel and tune in whenever I drop a video. I'm mostly looking midweek, Saturday and Sunday, and the odd other drop in between. My name is Doragon, this is Destiny 2, and until next time, take care.